Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy Show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. What's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. It is Friday, February something, 26. I should know the date because tonight, Moxley and Kenta one-on-one on NJPW Strong. We're going to talk about that here in a bit. How's everybody doing today on this chilly and overcast Friday here in North Carolina? So here's the story. Yesterday, it got up to like 70, and the day before was 72. Today, it's overcast and cloudy. Tomorrow, I'm expecting snow, and then Sunday, fog, and then Monday, 85 degrees, and then Tuesday, locusts. If you've ever spent time in North Carolina, let me just tell you something right now. Tar Heel State is known for a few different things. A couple of which we're not going to get into because it's political. But one of the major things is the wackadoodle weather that we have here in this state. It is insane. And if any of you are going through that, good luck to you because it's weird, wacky stuff. Anyway, again, hope you and yours are doing great. Hope you're having a great Friday. Happy Friday to you. There's the stuff. Let's get the ticker ticking as always. This is episode number 216. You can see it down there. Bam! 216 of the Main Event, man. Glad you're with us. We're repping the NWA here today, National Wrestling Alliance live and in living color. We're going to kick off the show with some stuff here shortly. Before we get any farther, let's go ahead and get some hellos out of the way. Shannon, what's going on? First at the table. Everybody say hello to the boy. What's that? That's how you say hi? Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. The dog didn't follow you, did he? Okay, then. Is he? All right, well, it figures. Sandy in Germany, what's going on, my friend? Guten Tag to you, sir. Mark, what's going on? Carlos Martinez, thanks as always for hanging out, man. Sugar Shane, we were going to get to that. We're going to lead off with that today as well. There's 22 of you watching. Everybody do me a favor. Click that thumbs up button and click that heart button for me as the numbers increase. I don't get any cash out of that deal, okay? It's cool to see the likes and stuff. If you can, or if you will, thanks, please, and thank you. How's about that? I do appreciate it, guys and gals, as always. Thanks, as always, for hanging out. Let's say a few more hellos before we get started here today. Timothy Gonzalez is patiently waiting for me to start talking about AEW. We'll get there, my friend. Jeff, what's going on? Elvis Martinez, good morning to you, sir. Cameron, what's up? Trucker Cam, trucking through Swift Current, Saskatchewan, Canada. Listen to the best podcast. Everybody tell Cameron what's up. Because Cameron knows what's up. Tom Clark's Main Event is what's up. Cameron, my friend in Canada, you guys know I'm a sucker for distance. I don't know why, but I continue to be a sucker for distance. People in other countries talking to me and listening to my show sends me chills. Cameron, I'm not messing with you, my man. Listen, thank you so much for listening to the show. Be safe, drive safe. We will try to entertain you over the next hour, my friend. I promise you. Everybody say what's up to Cameron. Thank you, my friend. It's much appreciated. Shannon says I changed my Twitter handle. I will have to go check that out, Shannon. I have not seen. So, yeah. Yes, sir, Sandy in Germany. You know what's up as well. Yep. All right, kids, let's get started. I always start the show with lots of energy. I try to be, hey, what's up? That kind of thing. But we are unfortunately starting off on a down note here today. And we'll get to promoting next week's show here in a sec, but I want to go ahead and hit this. Joe Cephas, also known as Joseph Hudson, real name Joseph Hudson, who spent more than 10 years in the NWA, passed away. I don't have details. I'm not one of those guys who writes a column of, well, breaking news, here's what did it. I just don't do that. It's just not my bag. I've eulogized many wrestlers over the years, unfortunately. And it's not anything I recommend. It's tough on the floor seat. I spent within 1 day's time, I think I eulogized 2 to 3 different guys because they all passed in the same 48-hour window. And I can't do it. It's just too hard. You know what I mean? So don't ask me for details. I don't have any. The only thing that I know for sure is it's suspected brain aneurysm, possibly stroke. I'm not sure. So no matter what did it, the fact is he's no longer with us. To my knowledge, there's a GoFundMe page that's up in his honor. I think they've already reached their goal. But Joseph had a family, of course, and listen, if any of you kids today watching can contribute to that, I'm sure the family will appreciate it. When my sister passed last year, we put up a GoFundMe page to cover her funeral expenses, and we reached it in like a day and a half. And some of you I know contributed. I can't talk about it. It's hard. Sorry, it's hard. Anyway, my bad. So if anybody out there feels led, $5, $10, I'm sure the family will appreciate it. Sorry to start off on a sour note, kids. That hit me harder than expected. Josephus was a fun guy, a fun talent. The question mark in the NWA, that was him. That thing got over like gangbusters when maybe it had no business getting over at all. But he was a talented guy. Everyone that knew him on a personal level thought very highly of him. And the business is poor today because he is no longer with us. So all the best to the family, friends, and fans of Josephus, one Joseph Hudson. He will be missed. And we hope that his family makes it through this time. Let me tell you something about recovering from a loss. It is tough, and you don't get past it. You get through it. You don't. It takes time. It takes support, and it takes learning how to live without that person. And it's hard. It's so hard. So, Shannon, I just saw your comment. Any of you that have ever experienced loss, and we all have in some form or fashion, I've very rarely ever met anyone in my life who've never lost anyone, including grandparents. I'm like, God, you're so fortunate. You know what I mean? So everyone's got somebody that they've lost, some of us multiple people, and it sucks. But you know what? Again, the only thing we can do is try to move forward. What I have said for a long time now is always forward, always. That's the only thing you can do, kids. You can't curl up and just go hide somewhere. Life beckons, no matter what anyone says. Timothy, what's your take? I thought you were saying, all right, so Timothy, we're going to get there, but since you're asking, let's go ahead and talk about really, really quick. And listen, we won't really talk about it, but I'll give you a little something right now. Bam. Where'd we go? Bam. There we are. So here is my latest for Geek Vibes Nation, entitled "What is Paul White's Future in AEW?" where I speculate a bit on what the man formerly known as the Big Show could possibly do in All Elite Wrestling. It's just sort of an exploratory column where I talk about his history. I talk about maybe guys he could face or perhaps partner with in AEW. We'll get into a little bit more of this as time goes on here during the show today. But if you guys will go check out that column, please and thank you. It'd be much appreciated. There you go. GeekVibesNation.com. Go look up your boy, show some love. And I would very much appreciate that. All right. Before we go any farther here today, kids, let me talk to you again in case you don't know about what's going to happen next Friday. A week from today, Friday, March 5th, the one and only Rob Kellum will be live here on the show. Now, Sugar Shane knows who this is. And if any of you cats out there were fans of WCW, man, I need a haircut, don't I? It's all over the place. I'm shaggy. Anyway, beside the point. Rob Kellum was the maestro in WCW, and my dog's barking. What is going on with my pet? No one knows. The maestro, Rob Kellum, great guy. He and I are friends on Facebook. I've met him through some contacts I have in the business, and he is going to appear on the show next Friday live at our usual time slot, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Wrestling Rumors Facebook Live. Please tune in. He will answer questions regarding his time in the business. If you got any questions for him about today's product, to get his take, to get his opinion, I'm sure he will be more than happy to answer those questions. And again, check it out next Friday. If any of you guys and gals know pro wrestling fans who were fans of WCW, maybe they don't watch anymore, but they're WCW fans, they're probably going to know who the Maestro is, excuse me. So yes, please be sure you hit them and let them know. Shane says, boy, do I have questions for Rob. I will go back further than WCW. Shane, I'm sure he will appreciate it. Pro wrestlers appreciate historians. And Shane, I know you're an historian, much like I am. So yes, kids, be sure to tune in next week. Let's go ahead and get started here, kids, on the big news. We've got a big show, by the way. It's always action-packed here on the main event, as per the norm, and today's no exception. So let's go ahead and get on in it. We've got Elimination Chamber results. Did you watch the show? Did everyone watch the show on Sunday? I thought it was an excellent show. Everyone say hello to the HVW owner-promoter, Mr. Gary Benfield. Gary in the house. What's going on, my friend? Probably going to hook up with Gary a bit later. He's in town this week, so that's cool. How many of you watched Elimination Chamber? Let me tell you something, man. It was a good show. WWE catches grief a lot of times it's well-deserved, if I'm being straight with you. They put on a good show on Sunday. Let's go ahead and hit the results here, if we can. We talked, listen, we did a main event on Sunday. Dane Alves was the guest. Again, thanks to Dane from Geeks Vibes for hanging out with us on Sunday. So, yes, so we did do the show on Sunday. So, it was the Elimination Chamber pre-show, right? So today we're going to give you something about what happened, okay? We talked Sunday about how Keith Lee was no longer in the United States Championship match. Man, stuff be changing hands on Sunday, okay? John Morrison in the kickoff show defeated Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Elias to qualify for the United States Championship triple threat that happened later on in the show. Daniel Bryan won the first Elimination Chamber match out the gate to win a Universal title opportunity. And immediately thereafter, Roman Reigns came out and basically punked him out and beat him. I don't know if any of us expected anything more. We were all speculating on what we thought could happen, who could go over, possibly Daniel Bryan with this big match and everything. But listen, kids, you and I both know, everybody knows watching live and listening today and after the fact, chances are Roman's not going to drop that title anytime soon. So there you go. Mark, we're going to get to Miz, I promise you. Then we get to what Sandy just mentioned. Yes, Matt Riddle defeated Bobby Lashley and John Morrison to become the United States champion, opening the door for Lashley to a little something on the grandest stage of them all. We'll get there. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. WWE Champion Drew McIntyre won the WWE title Elimination Chamber match. But then immediately thereafter, The Miz, that's right, kids, The Miz cashed in. He's your new WWE champion. So here's what's going on, Dave. Glad you asked. Thanks for joining us here today, my friend. Here's what's going on. What's going on? Here's what's going on. The Miz becomes WWE champion. Now, everybody's showing Miz some love, and they should. On Sunday, I compared The Miz to Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. There it is. And with what I feel is very good reason. And if you missed the show on Sunday, what's wrong? Don't you like me anymore? God. But if you missed the show on Sunday, I'm going to give you a little something here. And this is sort of my point that we had on Sunday. I have to find it first. What has happened to it? I've misplaced it. No worries. I'll find it. Everybody take it easy. I'll find it. There's a Beastie Boys video I reposted. Beastie Boy fans in the house. So here was what I put up this past Sunday after he won. Dave Grohl, back in the day, was Nirvana's drummer, and that's all we knew him as. We knew he was talented, but at the end of the day, he was the drummer, and that's all. Now he's the lead singer of the Foo Fighters on his way to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is what The Miz is to me. Yes, he's talented, and yes, he's good at what he does, but can I picture him as the lead singer instead of the drummer? I don't know. But here we are with The Miz as the WWE champion for the second time in his career, despite what I think. The guy has earned this. He's put his time in, and he always works hard. Maybe one day he'll be headed to the WWE Hall of Fame, and his days of being just a drummer will be long since behind him. What do you guys think about that analysis? I think it's apropos. You may disagree. And if you disagree, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Hey, Jamel, thanks for the comment, man. Thank you. Much love to you. I appreciate that. Big Troy in the house. Everybody say hello to TAG, tag for short. Mr. Anthony Grant. Troy, what's up? Untitled Wrestling Podcast. Go check that sucker out, man. Subscribe today. Go follow them on Facebook, brother. You'll appreciate it and you'll like it. It's a good show, fun show, man. Troy, thanks for watching, man. Yes, it was a downer for sure. I agree with your assessment there. Elvis says AJ Styles needs a match at Mania. You know, we've been in this situation a lot over the past few years, Elvis. We've been in this situation a lot where the top guys have nothing to do. Remember that year they just randomly put Kane against Orton? And we're like, what? How many times have you had that reaction to WWE? Watch again. What? Same thing. I have it all the time. You do too. Don't lie. Okay. So, we can talk more about that the closer Mania gets. There's plenty of time to work something out. Is there plenty of time to work out something you're going to love? Y'all know. All right. I throw in a bunch of references. If you don't know, now you know. We'll see. Mark hits me with Miz deserves this. He's been working his butt off for 15 years straight. Hasn't argued. Booking has argued his booking. Okay. Took it all on the chin. It continues to do amazing. Mark, I agree. He is nothing if not consistent. He's consistent, he's reliable, and he's loyal. 3 incredibly impressive and necessary traits in a good talent, a good employee, no matter what line of work you're in. So there you go, pal. So we'll see what happens. Jamila says, look like we would see Shane versus Braun. Bite your tongue, clean out of your head. But you're probably right. You're probably right. Troy says AJ Esposa wants to match Triple H Mania. I wouldn't be against it either, Troy, depending on how it's done. And let's be honest, Hunter comes out of retirement to beat guys. He's gonna pin AJ. He's gonna pin him. I mean, look, I don't care. I don't lose sleep over this stuff. I really don't. It doesn't really matter to me. If you don't know by now how things go in that company, you should. If you spent more than 5 minutes watching, you got some kind of idea of how it's going. It doesn't hurt AJ. It doesn't really help Triple H. So why not put AJ over? Who knows, man? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it despite what happens. But here's what I'm going to tell you right now. Here's what I think. Don't tell anybody. You didn't hear it here first, but you're going to hear it right here, okay? Bobby Lashley has a WWE title shot coming up on Monday. Know what that means, kids? Miz, congratulations. Drop that title so we can get this. There it is. I want everyone to soak this in. I want everybody to soak it in. Breathe it in. Breathe with the switchblade. Soak it in. Don't talk. Don't talk. Soak it in. If you're listening to the audio version, you're like, what's he on about now? Ha! Here it is. Lashley versus Lesnar. Bobby's wanted this match for a long time. They need top caliber, top flight, main event, prime main event matches for the biggest show of the year. If I had to put money on this, I would say Lashley wins on Monday. Lesnar shows up the following Monday. We get Lashley versus Lesnar. Either Bobby's going to call him out or Lesnar will call him out. And then what I speculated upon this past Sunday is going to come true. Paul Heyman will be the manager of both world champions. And then we will eventually lead up at some point to Reigns versus Lesnar again to unify the titles. Now, the unification match may or may not happen. I'm not going to hang my hat on that. But I would, if I had some money to put, I would. You don't have to. It's okay. I think we're going toward Lashley, there it is, versus Lesnar. Sandy says Lashley goes over on Brock. Sandy, what color is the sky in Germany, my friend? I've never been there. Sandy, I love you. I'm messing with you. I don't see that at all. I mean, Brock's coming back. Brock's going over. It's my opinion. You guys can hate that all you want. I don't know. Sheree says it's nice that Miz won, but I don't see him keeping the title past Fastlane. No, he's not going to keep it past Monday, in my opinion, Sheree. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Listen, you know what the great thing about being human is? You're allowed to be human. You know what another great thing about being this human is? Right here in this chair, all the bearded goodness in front of you, is that I've told you kids multiple times over the past few years, I've never claimed to be the end all be all and the mastermind behind all of the psychology of professional wrestling today. I can tell you, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of it, but that's my opinion. I can tell you what I think. I'm an analyst. I am not a pro wrestling journalist. I've called myself that before, but I don't know if I call myself that now. I had a conversation about this last night with Phil Lindsay, actually. I've always referred to myself personally as an analyst. That's what I am. Okay. So in my analysis, I believe we're going to see Lashley going over on Monday, Lashley versus Lesnar at Mania. Troy says Lashley really wants Lesnar. Yes, sir. And has for a while. I feel like we might get a triple threat and they throw Drew in to conquer all the beasts. I'm okay with that, Troy. I'm more than okay with that. Man, can you imagine? Hold on, Robbie. I won't forget you. Can you imagine if they do that? That is a firm seal of approval on Drew McIntyre. At that point, Drew Mac turns heel. He has to, because at that point, if he's conquered the top heels, he needs to go conquer the top baby faces or lose to a top baby face. See what I'm saying? I'm down with that. I can get down with that. Robbie says Miz, one of those young guys, one of those guys that in a million years wouldn't think a reality star would work as a wrestler, but honestly, if he ditched the 2-bit songs, could become a decent talent every time. I think he's a decent talent now. I think he's a very good talent now. You know what I mean? He's earned this for sure. Shan says, fingers crossed, the women's tag team titles will be where they need to be soon. Yeah, in NXT, I agree with you totally. Carlos says, let's see how many people will tell you the truth. I don't know about everyone, but most people who like The Miz, they only like him because his wife is hot. Carlos Martinez. Maurice, I hear you. I'm not going to argue. His wife's very attractive. Okay. Do I think that's why people like him? I don't know. That's up to you. Whatever you guys think. Sugar Shane says it's wishful thinking. Drew will interfere in the match Monday and it will be a 3-way at Mania. I think maybe you're right. I think you and Troy both are hitting something on the head here, man, for sure. Jamil says, I think Miz will get himself disqualified and drop to Lashley at Fastlane and triple threat. Well, there you go. That could happen as well. Elvis says, why is Otis a heel now? Because it's Vince's company, can do whatever he wants to do. I wish I had some logic for you, my friend. I don't. By the way, kids, if you are watching right now and have not hit the like/heart button, please make that happen for me. I get nothing on the back end of that. I just like to help support Wrestling Rumors in terms of, popularity and stuff. So if you kids could do that for me, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm not asking for a dime, all right? I appreciate that, man. Anybody that does that for me, you guys are awesome. Thank you much for that. Mark says, I feel Raquel Gonzalez should be pushed to an NXT championship. Well, there you go. I mean, she'll get there, hopefully, eventually. So there you go. Before we move on, Dave says, hey, Tom, what's the deal with Seth? Is he feuding with Cesaro? Looks that way. Nasty, devious heel, that Seth Rollins. Let's get to some other news of the week here, kids. If any of you followed my pro wrestling venture outside of pro wrestling, it's the same thing. High Velocity Wrestling is a company based here in Western North Carolina. Okay. I'm the director of social media for the company. Mr. Gary Benfield, as you cats saw earlier, is the owner and promoter. A former HVW champion and the star of the main event of our comeback show in January of 2020 was Mr. JD Drake. JD Drake appeared on AEW Dark. If you have not seen that, you missed a really good match. He faced Eddie Kingston. Now, I don't have a scoop for you in terms of what happens to Drake moving forward. But as always, we at High Velocity Wrestling and we here at Tom Clark's Main Event send him all the support in the world. And listen, if you're not following JD Drake on the Facebook, please go make that happen. I'm going to show you his page right now so you kids can go make that happen. How's that sound to you? That work for you? Hold on. Just hold on. Bam. All right. Let's share the screen, man. Drake didn't ask me to do this for real. I just thought I'd share. So let's go make this happen. Bam. Okay. So go follow Drake. He's the man. Excellent pro wrestler. One of the best big men you'll ever see. The guy is here a little something from the AEW show. There you go, baby. There you go. Drake wearing that signature red satin coat with the towel around his neck. That's vintage JD Drake. So yeah, great to see Drake on AEW Dark. Please go show him some love. Tell him that Tom Clark's Main Event sent you. I mean, for real. And go follow the High Velocity Wrestling page too, if you will. When you see the black and purple logo, you'll know it. That's all the personal stuff I'll put on here today. I thought I would plug JD's page. So yeah, go show him some love, man. Shane says, for you older fans, JD Drake is a bigger version of Ole Anderson. And I would submit more agile in the ring, too. Quicker on his feet. I don't know if I ever saw Ole do a moonsault off top rope. So there you go. Christopher, you got here, my man. Thanks for hanging out, brother. All right, so yeah, go check out JD Drake, man. Much appreciated. Let's get to some headlines. I didn't do the SmackDown and Raw takeaways of the week because we had a big event on Sunday and we got lots of other stuff to talk about. We'll try to get back to those highlights next week. Does that sound good? Sounds great. Paul White, as we said earlier, the former Big Show is All Elite. Somebody, I'm not going to mention any names here, but somebody commented on the column that I posted about Show this morning on the Facebook, and he basically ripped AEW, said that AEW just signed unwanted WWE wrestlers. Hoy vey. I responded as professionally as I could and as politely as I could because I'm curious. I genuinely want to know because I'm curious. Why all the hate toward guys who used to work for Vince that now decide to work? So let me ask you guys something, and you be straight with me, okay? When a guy or gal moves on from WWE, are they just supposed to go away? You just want them to disappear right off into the sunset, never be seen or heard from again? Is that what you guys think happens? Or are you okay with the idea of them, plying their craft in another company? And it could be AEW, or it could be New Japan, or it could be Impact, or it could be any number of other pro wrestling companies out there. Ring of Honor, okay? But because they choose AEW, well, AEW just signs unwanted wrestlers. Okay, listen, AEW, by their own hand, through their own doing, draws immediate comparisons to WCW. They decided to sign with TNT. They mention WCW all the time. They mention the history of them being the first pro wrestling broadcast back on that channel since WCW closed its doors. They invite these comparisons all the time. They don't shy away from it. They don't run from it. They don't hide from it. And I'm okay with that. I don't care what they do. It's perfect. It's like WWE. I don't care what they do. Okay. So they know what they're in for by drawing comparisons. But at the same time, kids, are they just, if you worked for WWE today, are you just supposed to wither up and die when you leave the company? How is that fair to you? I don't think it is it? Timothy says maybe Paul White was watching AEW and felt he wanted to be a part of it. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. I'm just saying. Toby says, if a guy still wants to work, let them work. Toby, from your lips to the ears of God, my friend, thank you. My goodness. Elvis says, why is Tully getting back in the ring? The guy is 67 years old. One wrong bump and he's done. Elvis, to be fair, one wrong bump and you're done. One wrong bump and I'm done. One wrong bump and any number of talents this coming week on live television could be done forever. I get your point. I get your point. 67, you're right. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I was a part of shows where I was in the locker room with Jimmy Valiant, okay, and saw him go out at age 70, bumping. He didn't. Let me tell you something. Boogie didn't bump for the last 30 years he worked a match. But I saw him at least get roughed up a little bit, okay? But he was working. Now, did I think it was a great idea? Wasn't my call. All I know was it was cool to meet and hang out with him. Got to go to his camp in West Virginia, or in Virginia, and it was awesome. And great guy, really down to earth guy. He and his wife, really good people. Okay. But I saw him working matches at that age. And do I think it's a good idea? Not for me to say. I can tell you all day long it doesn't look good. But listen, I don't think Tully's going to want to embarrass himself. Do you? I just don't think so. Troy says, thing is, if you sign anyone over the age of 35, the likelihood is that they've been with WWE. Preach! Preach! Reverend Troy in the house. Great point. They've been the world leader for 40 plus years, so it's very likely they've wrestled there. So what? It's not different to a football team signing a player as once another club. WWE isn't the last stop for guys and girls, even more so today. Troy, preach. Everybody read that comment and tell Troy what's up. Excellent point, my friend. Carla says, heard Paul White went to AEW because he did not like the way it was used on the Raw reunion show with all the Hall of Famers. Can I be honest with you, Carlos? I can't speak for show, and I won't. But here's what I will tell you. In my humble opinion, he may have been done long before that. Now, I could be dead wrong, pal. I could be dead wrong. Maybe I am. Maybe he had every intention of staying there, retiring from the business as a WWE superstar. I'm going to bring something up. Everybody hold tight. Oh, bam. Where did he go? La, 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 la. This moment of silence, this moment of humming, brought to you by Tom Clark's Main Event. Let's see. I was going to bring up a link and show it to you in case you didn't know. I mean, I've said it before here on the show, but here we go. Here we go. Relax. I got it. Everybody relax. I interviewed Big Show. And if you'd like to check it out. Oh, did you hear that actually? Anyway, go back in the archives, Tom Clark's Main Event. And you will find the Big Show interview. Okay. I was going to bring up a little something for you to look at. But anyway, great down to earth guy. And again, I think it's fine for him to go there. I'm perfectly fine with it. I just don't understand why people get such heartburn over stuff like that. Oh, Toby just echoed my sentiments. I can't understand why people are so against another company succeeding. Don't they get that we, the fans, are the winners? Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Sandy, I love Jordan Devlin. Jordan Devlin. Is that how it goes? Troy would know. I love that guy to death. Sugar Shane says, another point on Big Show leaving. Moxley, see, money talks in AEW. I thought you said Moxley, my bad. And AEW wanted him. Both true statements. I'm okay with that. Elvis says, do you have any WWE titles? You mean like replica belts? Nah, it's not for me. I just don't do that stuff. I don't do belts. Number one, ouch, they're pricey. Number two, I'm weird about title belts. I remember somebody, a fan in the front row on Raw one night, had a replica belt over his shoulder and he was holding it up, and CM Punk was cutting a heel promo, and Punk looks at him and says, yeah, that's a title belt. This is the WWE Championship. And he was just doing a heel thing. It's all good, but I just have a different mentality on replica title belts. I just don't. For me to hold a title belt, it just kind of feels like, who am I to do it? Is that weird? I got a different perspective because I'm in the business, actually. I have a different way of looking at it. You guys don't have to agree with me if I'm being straight with you. You can buy whatever replica belts you'd like to own. It's perfectly fine. It's just my own personal take. Let's get to the next little something that we got here, kids. Let's talk about it. I'm going to bring it up right now just so you know. The latest class of for NXT. Have you guys and gals been keeping up with this? Because this is good stuff, man. I'll bring it up here so you guys won't have to. This is the biggest NXT class that they have done, that they've ever done. And as we've said before multiple times here on the program, WWE is in the business of collecting talents. They're not so much in the business of bringing in wrestlers to help their company. They don't really care about that. Honestly, they really don't. Okay. But the fact is, here we go. Yep, the largest recruiting class in history, reports the WB Performance Center. We're going to get some shout outs here as well. Bronson Rex Steiner, who is actually Rick Steiner's son. Because you know Rick Steiner's last real name is Rex Steiner's his last name. You know that, right? That's how he got the name Rick Steiner. Looks good. Big, tough looking guy. Yeah. Taya Valkyrie is there also. Real name Kira Forrester. Sean Ricker used to be known as Eli Drake, known as LA Knight. Angela Arnold, actually trained by Booker T. Parker Boudreaux. Let me tell you something about Parker Boudreaux. If you don't know who Parker Boudreaux is, holy God, he is what many people feel is a Brock Lesnar clone. This kid is all kinds of jacked. If you haven't seen him, go see him. Tough as leather, baby. I've got a couple here that I want to send personal shout outs to. Okay. Not Parker. Parker gets a shout out to you. What's up, Parker? I'm playing. Anthony Henry and Chance Barrow. Chance Barrow, real name actually, was a pro wrestler that for many years worked on the name Harlem Bravado. Harlem Globetrotting Bravado. Okay. Globetrotting Harlem Bravado. That you don't, you know. I put the brain in the robot, you know. Do I have any SpongeBob fans out there? That's my go-to line when I get mixed up on something. It's funny. Anthony Henry and Harlem Bravado were both longtime members of the Evolve talent roster. Me and the boy got to see them compete more than one time. And here's a funny story is that one night we're at the Evolve show and Harlem is putting a guy up against the ringside barrier and he's waving. We're like 3 rows back from the front. He's waving all of us out of the way. So I'm getting up. And I didn't mean to leave him intentionally. I thought my kid was falling behind me. He's still in the folding chair eating nachos. He's dipping the chips. And I'm like, there's like guys running up that work with the crew. Get out of the chair. So I'm grabbing my kid out of the way. And Harlem proceeds to fly over the guardrail all the way into our row of chairs. It was the coolest thing ever. So ever since then, my kids have the story of Harlem Bravado tried to kill me. So big shout out to Henry and Bravado, man. Good on you. And good luck to you. Good luck to the whole class waiting to get started in NXT. Teresa Serrano now competing as Zoe Stark. Already on the map here, man, for sure. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Christian Bingham, who worked under the ring name of Christian Casanova. Priscilla Kelly, who I have feelings about or thoughts on. We won't get into it here. Drew Casper is the brother of Jacob Casper, who joined the WWE Performance Center in October of 2020. He's actually 2-time All-American heavyweight. Brianna Cota, now known as Cora Jade. Christian Hubble, worked under the name Blake Christian. Matrick Belton, hopefully I'm not screwing up his name. He actually attended NFL training camps for the Philadelphia Eagles. There you go. Cameron Clay, and actually works people like Shotzi Blackheart. Joe Areola. So he's there as well. Taylor Grado and Carissa Rivera. There it is. There's your latest NXT class. This should be a good one. We might be talking about this class for years to come. Dave, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out. Mark says, I know you aren't too fond of her, but Tessa needs to be signed and she is so good in the ring. I don't like her at first, but she grew on me. Mark, I got nothing for you on Tessa. We've been down this road so many times here on the show. I don't really know what in the world is going to happen with her. I don't know that anybody actually does. We will have to wait and see on that. She's crazy talented. I'm not going to argue that point at all. I don't dislike her as a talent at all. I'm not a fan of where everything ended up going. I don't know the full story because I wasn't there. All I know is I can go based off of what other talents have said around her and the things that they supposedly heard her say. Let's talk about somebody, and I haven't seen Ray. Is Ray Dean in the house today? Ray, where are you? You're going to miss the buttons, Ray. Ray, if you're not here, you're not going to hear me hit the button. You're not going to hear anyone say, Adam Cole, 3 words, full-blown heel, okay? Attacked Roddy. It's over. The undisputed era is that it? The undisputed era, hit the mic, my bad, is over. It is no more. It has ceased to be. It has expired. It is an X faction. Where my Monty Python fans at? Troy, you still here? I pitched to Troy because he's British. Isn't that weird? Like you can only be British and Monty Python, who's that? That's almost stereotypical. My apologies. But full-blown heel, man. And no one can say you didn't see this coming. Of the whole crew of the UE, you can really only say that Cole is the guy. If anyone's going to stay heel, in my opinion, it's Cole and it's Fish. I could be wrong. Maybe Bobby will come back and turn face against Cole. But he's busting everybody up. If you get in his way, you're going to get busted up. Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor, and now Roddy Strong. Busted up. Busted up, man. Crazy. What?
What? What?
I entertain myself to no end. Tell me that's not fun. Come on. Timothy says we all want Troy and Phil on the show. What's wrong, Tim? Am I not good enough for you anymore? Huh? I'll get him back on the show. Everybody relax. Yikes. Ricardo says I was hoping Retribution broke up first. Boy, me too. Me too. But, you know. Shane says, I was going to call the Cameron Grimes segment Hot Garbage, but he saved it. He always saves it. That's what Cameron does. Cameron saves stuff. He always saves stuff. Cameron is the man.
I'm going to the moon!
And if you don't like that,
You can kiss my grin!
or
You can kiss my grin!
I love doing this show so much. All of you still hanging out. What's up? I'm just saying. Let's see. Mark says the destruction of you is a great angle to go with. They were speculating on it for so long. For sure. It had to happen eventually, Mark. Good point. Had to happen eventually. I don't have takeaways for you. Let's get on with the rest of the show. Let's go to some ratings this week. Friday Night SmackDown, 2.217 compared to the week before's 1.990. Up, of course, the go-home show for this past Sunday's Elimination Chamber. Monday Night Raw 1.89, down just a hair, just a scoosh. I'm sorry, up just a scoosh. There it is, from 1.81 last week. Let's get into some AEW stuff. Sting and Darby Allin, who we've been talking about for months. Okay, so here's what's up with these two cats. Did you see Dynamite and the bit with Hook and the body bag? My God, how cool was that? Why don't we try to show it here on the program and hope we don't get booted off? That'd be fun. I think I've figured it out. I think that as long as you don't do the volume, and listen, don't nobody be throwing me off the air. Don't nobody be telling on me. For God's sake, don't be telling on a guy, okay? It's not cool, man. It's not cool. Volume's off. Let's take a look. I got to share it. Everybody relax. If you haven't seen this, you about to find out what happened. La, 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 la. There we go. Man, if you're just listening to the audio, you're missing out, baby. You are missing out. Please don't nobody report this and get me thrown off the air. We'll talk over it. So here's what's up. Sting came back again with Darby and made a statement. This is not the lovable Sting babyface that does the woo and all that and beats his chest and signs autographs. This is the hardcore going there Sting, because Sting at his best can go there, kids. If any of you have forgotten the stuff he did with NWO, Sting can more than go there. And he went there on Wednesday night, okay? Putting Taz's son in a body bag, that's some big-time business. Now, of course, this comes a week after he was powerbombed. We talked about that at length here on the show last week. So, yeah, we'll see. But everybody check this out as we're talking here. Mark says it'd be brilliant to give Cameron Grimes $1 Million Man Championship. Oh, I would love that, Mark. I would love that. Shane says Impact won the week for me. Have you seen this guy? No, I have not, Shane. Watch Jake something, but I'm going to. Look at Darby with that Sting paint. Look at that smile. When's the last time you saw Darby Allin smile? We get the snow. We get winter is coming. We get Sting. It's Sting. Shannon says, how do you feel about Sting appearing every week? I see a lot of people complaining about why Sting on every week. Because they want him on every week. That's the deal he signed. They're hyping this match. Shannon, I'm okay with it. I don't think it's a ratings grab. And if it is, who cares? Who cares? They're doing what they feel is best for their business. Shannon, anybody that does agree with that, don't even listen to them. Everybody can have their own opinion. But God, the only thing that matters is AEW's opinion at the end of the day, isn't it? What matters for their product? What matters for their company? What's working? What's working? And if it's working, don't change it, right? There we see Hook. The coolest part's yet to come because Darby, for the first time ever in his AEW career, rappels down just like Sting did back in the day. Tell me that's not the coolest thing you've ever seen. Coolest thing ever. Virgil offers services. Cameron Grimes, we got turned down. I like Virgil, but I don't know if we need Virgil back on our TV. He's a character, isn't he? He's a flat-out character, man, for sure. And, let me tell you something right now. If you were legit hitting guys in the neck with a skateboard, you probably would have paralyzed somebody by now. I'm just saying. Mark says it's Moose versus Swan on March 6th for Impact Championship. Moose about to become a double champion. He could. Would it make more sense to see Moose versus Kenny Omega? Mark, you could be right about that. Sting looked really good here. Sting was protected. Everything came off without a hitch. He's obviously okay from last week. Listen, it's okay to see Sting on TV this week, kids, because we know he's okay. We assume he's okay. He's moving around fine. Look at him. Watch this Stinger splash. Like he's 30 again. You kidding me? He doesn't have hops like he was 20, but when he's 30, sure. I think it looks great. 61 years old, this guy. We should all be so lucky to be able to move like that. Shannon says the whole segment was awesome. Sting is my all-time favorite wrestler. And of course, Darby is my favorite in AEW. There you go. They made a fan in Shannon. So everybody shut up. Not all y'all. Not all y'all. Just some of y'all. I'm just playing. There you go, kids. Awesome segment. Them standing side by side. Really, really good stuff. Really fun stuff. Bam, there you go. Let's take that down before we get thrown out of here, pal. You know what Timothy says? I love it. There you go. Let's move on. Io Shirai versus the aforementioned Zoe Stark. Now, this was supposed to be a statement made by NXT. Much in the, and it's a big comparison, but stick with me. The idea of John Cena, an unknown John Cena versus Kurt Angle. Ruthless aggression. Not quite the same, but a statement nonetheless. By the NXT brand to let you out there know, hey, we're going to put some money behind this Zoe Stark. We're going to get her some cool gear, and we're going to dress her up, and we're going to even give her some pyro. She's going to be awesome. I'm okay with that. She looks good in the ring. I have no issues with it at all. To have the champ give her the office after the match and congratulate her and kind of pat her on the back, shake her hand kind of thing. That's pretty big stuff right there. That's an endorsement from the champ. Wow. That's good stuff, man. Second match on TV? Yeah, that's good stuff. What'd you guys think about this match? I thought it was highly entertaining. Highly entertaining. Mark says Zoe Stark was an indie wrestler and was very... Yes, Mark, I totally agree. She's good. Elvis says, have you heard an update on Conan? No, I've heard nothing, Elvis. We continue to send our best and our well wishes to Conan. Alma says, Sting, could he go against Taz for the first? No, I don't want to see Sting work Taz. It's going to be enough of a spectacle to see him in the ring with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. I mean, to put him in the ring with Taz slows him down, not speeds him up. Because Taz can't, Taz is, they're both older. You see what I'm saying? I get why we would think that. I would think that we'd see Hook get revenge before we'd see Taz get revenge. It's my feeling. Victor says she was a top star championship wrestler from Hollywood. Awesome. I used to keep up with that company, Vic, but not in a long time. I kept up with it when Peter Avalon was there. I was keeping up with it before he signed with AEW. So, yeah, I didn't know that. Good match. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to see it. Let's get talking about some more stuff. We've almost been going an hour here, kids. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Who got to catch it? The main event was Jon Moxley versus Davey Boy Smith Jr. And I swear to God, folks, commentators out there, you don't have to always call him Davey Boy Smith Jr. You can call him Davey Boy Smith. You don't have to consistently call him Davey Boy Smith Jr. I get why you do. I don't think it's necessary. Just call him Davey Boy. I mean, how many people still call Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio Jr.? You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe Davey Boy doesn't care. Not that it's a badge of honor for that guy. I totally get it. I'm just saying from my ears perspective, I'm like, just call him Davey Boy. That's who he is, right? That's who he is. Mark says, I'm surprised I got Valkyrie NXT. That surprised me. Her career is documented. She should be straight to the main roster. Yeah. She may not be there for long, Mark, to your point. She may not be there for long. If you guys did not catch Bloodsport, you have to check it out. The next Bloodsport's in April. And this time, Josh Barnett is going to work Jon Moxley. Josh Barnett's a really good talent. Really, really smart guy. There's been weird stuff, quirky stuff about him in the past. I don't throw shade. You guys know that. I like the guy. I got a lot of respect for him, what they're doing with Bloodsport. It's a very different kind of product. Cherie, I've heard the rumor of Davey Boy going back to WWE as well. Hey, listen, if it's good for him and what's best for his career, go with God. Good luck, and hopefully they will do right by you. That would be what I would say to Davey could I talk to him one-on-one. I wish you the best, and I hope they do right by you and right by you for your career. The $1 Million Cam. We've talked about that here a little bit already. We don't need to go through it again. You guys know that
Cameron Grimes
is stinking rich now. And if you don't like that,
you can kiss my grin.
look at all that money, baby. Can't beat the cash. Cash talks. Money talks. Yeah, there you go. I love this thing to death. This guy could do anything he wants to do, and I would tune in to watch it because he's just that good. I love Cameron Grimes. As we said before, kids, tonight, NJPW Strong. It's on NJPW streaming service. Go check it out. Jon Moxley versus Kenta. This is the match that everybody's been talking about for a year already. We're talking about it again. Tonight's going to be the blow off to this feud. So we will see what happens. I endorse this match. I can't wait to watch it. Here's some ratings, kids, before we take it home this week. This week, AEW 831, up from last week 747. NXT 734, up from last week 713. AEW wins the night again. You can look at this a couple of ways. You can say, I don't care. It's good for AEW. It's bad for NXT, or it's bad for both because neither one of them are making any forward progress. I go with the latter because as long as Vince insists on keeping his program where it's at, neither company is going to make any forward progress, in my opinion. That's just my take. Let's open up the floor to some stuff before we get out of here. What do you kids have to say? Yes, Alma, we've just already discussed Josephus. We talked about him when we kicked the show off here today. Yeah, all the best to his family. Chad, good question, bro. Is Sting still a draw? We don't know because we can't have fans. In the traditional sense of the word, we don't know if he's still a draw. Is he still a ratings draw? He has been. Is he still? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, right? Who knows? They were up anyway. They're still up. So is that because of him? Maybe not. Who knows? Could he sell out an arena with AEW? Absolutely. I believe he could. Pandemic aside, there it is. Yeah, I believe he could absolutely sell out a building. For sure. Mark says he kept up that $1 Million Man segment and kept losing all the losing till he kicked the guy's fun. Yeah, I love it too, Mark. He's so good. He's so good. Oh, Shannon. You know the Dark Order bit? It's funny. We'll do that too from now on. It's makes me smile. Yeah. Lance Archer and Ray Phoenix. So look, somehow in the course of a couple weeks, Ray Phoenix went from being, hey, he's a lucha bro, to being, could this guy be world champ? Now, no, I'm not predicting anything. Yes, I knew he was talented. But now it's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, It almost feels like someone in that company pushed a button and said, maybe we should look at this guy as being something more than just tag team guy. Maybe we should let's start building something. Now, maybe you didn't hear it here first. I don't know. But I think maybe we're moving towards something. Elvis says, what does the boy and the dog watch wrestling? The dog doesn't really care. The boy will go to live shows with me when we can go. Does he watch on TV? Not so much. Chad, Anna Jay is out for 8 months to a year. I think they said. Yeah, I believe she was injured in training. Shoulder injury. I don't want to get this screwed up because Hiromu was injured this week also. Torn pec. He's supposed to be out 6 to 8 months. I hate that for that guy. It feels like he just got back. So, yeah. Lance versus Ray. Yep, absolutely, Tim. Nala versus Baker. Yes. Two very good matches for sure. Shoulder. Thanks, Tim. That's what, shoulder. I thought so. Something like that. Yeah, I thought so. Well done. Keith says, I think we're getting Elisha versus Led. Yep, we've been there, Keith. I already talked about it for sure. Stipulation with loser has to leave. I don't know about that, but I think we'll get the match. That's what I believe. If a supercard of AEW versus WWE were made, what 3 matches would you want to see? Robbie, you always hit me with thoughtful, thought-provoking questions that I never can answer. Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar versus Minoru Suzuki. I got through New Japan in there, didn't I? My bad. Screw it, I'm leaving it. Whew. God bless. Let me think. Would you just let me think? I don't know. That's a good one. I'd circle back to that. Elvis says, can I get your autograph? Everything has a price. Elvis. By the way, Elvis, if you're serious, Elvis, I'll tell you what I do. I got a Patreon. Doesn't everyone? Go to my Patreon. Look me up. I got a 3-tier system. They're all dirt freaking cheap. Elvis, you sign up for a tier. You got an autograph in the mail, baby. For sure. No joke. You don't have to do anything, brother. I'm messing with you. I do have a Patreon, though. If any of you kids would like to go subscribe, please do so. It would mean loads to me. There's some cool stuff. I put some cool stuff on there, man, for sure. Victor says, have they found Asuka's tooth? I don't know. Good question. Yep, Jericho and MJF, great storyline. Yeah, for sure, man. It's Keith says Miz versus MJF. Would that be too much like Brock versus Suzuki, maybe? I was going to go with that, but yeah, maybe too similar, right? Mark says, if all you're watching is WWE, you're limiting yourself. You got to get diverse into other wrestling products or other companies produce amazing products as well. There's been too disappointing as of late, but they're trying hard to make it right. I couldn't agree with you more, Mark. There's other content out there, kids. Go watch. All right, Mark, let me get this through this. Okada versus Ibushi versus Styles. Triple threat. Who you got and why? Okada every time. I'm just an Okada guy. I'm a guy of all three, but Okada's my guy. I'm going to be straight with you. Best in the world by far. Maybe not by far. Styles and Ibushi are very good. If you want to make a fatal 4-way for really doing WWE, Okada versus Ibushi versus Styles versus Ricochet. How about that? Mark? Mark, buy a ticket, Mark. Buy me a ticket, Mark. I'm broke, Mark. Sugar Shane says, what is the hardest part of being social director of HVW? I wouldn't say the hardest part right now is not running a show. We want to run a show so bad we can't stand it, but we'd have to observe COVID protocols and make it safe. And we have to find a way to make it safe for everybody involved. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. My parents have managed to keep themselves healthy and safe over the past year. I'd like to continue that trend, but put myself in a building with 150 people, that's going to be tough. You know what I mean? That's the toughest part for me right now. Other than that, the gig is great and I love it. It's hard work, but I love it. There's nothing hard about it in terms of this is so hard. It's challenging, but I love it. I'd like to get back to it. By the way, I posted on my Facebook here recently this past week that I have my own business. I own my own small business now on the side. I'm not ready to tell you guys and gals about what it is. It may not be anything you guys are interested in even trying to do business with. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you know somebody who want to do business with it. But when the time is right, I'll announce it to you. So I appreciate any and all support you guys could throw my way, from Patreon to just sending a kind word. Anything you could do would be great for me, and I do appreciate it as always. All right, let's take a couple more. We're going to get out of here. Dennis, yes, sir. Cameron Grimes is the best thing in the business. Yep, I can't agree more. See, Oscar versus Miriam. Book it, please. Have Miriam win. Ooh, Elvis, that's a tall order right now. Miriam's in no way, shape, or form ready for a title. In terms of how she's booked, at least. Alma says Ricochet versus Omega versus Moxley versus Reigns versus Pentagon Jr. That's a huge match. That's a lot of real estate there to cover. It'd be amazing, though, wouldn't it? We're going to do a show tomorrow. Oh, you mean for the AEW? Like a pre-show? We could. We maybe could hook that up. We'll talk about it. We'll think about it. I'll see if I can get something going on. Cherie's asking about the Tiger Woods situation. All the best to Tiger Woods. I hope he comes through this okay. I hope we see him play golf again. I don't have the latest for you. I played golf back in the day. I was never any good. But I respect Tiger and what he accomplished in the sport and for being the guy that he is. And hopefully he will recover and be back to as close to 100% as he possibly can be. Kids, we're going to take this show home. Listen, I appreciate everybody for hanging out as always. I appreciate you guys and gals for being there for us, for always watching, for supporting the show as often as you do. Please remember, a week from today, why don't we throw this bad boy up again so as you can see it? Where are you? Where'd you go? Right there. A week from today, the maestro, Rob Killam, here live on the main event. Join us for that show. You're going to dig it. I promise you. It's going to be a fun interview. I can't wait to get there. Hope you guys and gals tune back in. Thanks again, as always, for showing the love. We're about to get out of here and take it home and get to the rest of our day. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Thanks again for watching, kids. We'll catch you next time. Tom Clark's Main Event.